Welcome, everyone. Today is a big day for the market. It's one we've been waiting for. Are we going to get a taper today or not? And how is that dot plot going to move? Yeah, dot plots can actually be pretty exciting. Actually, they're not really exciting, but exciting to me. The Federal Reserve will be releasing its new summary of economic projections today, which is where we will see how many individuals at the Fed expect we will raise rates, how many times over the next 2-3 years. We'll see their projections for what rates will be in 2022. How many rate hikes are we expecting? We'll see how many rate hikes we're expecting in 2023. We will also see if we're going to get a taper today, which we mostly don't expect, thanks to weaker job numbers coming in at the beginning of the month. The unemployment read was a total miss. CPI, has slowed down its insane takeoff, so kind of takes some of that pressure off the Federal Reserve to really taper. And we really kind of expect discussion from Jerome Powell around beginning of November, and still maintaining his belief that he'll taper this year. It'll be interesting to see if Jerome Powell says anything about potentially not tapering this year, though. Will he say something about, hey, if there are other issues in the economy or markets, then maybe we'll slow down our interest in tapering, and maybe we'll focus on the beginning of next year. Could be a January, could be a February taper. Who knows? We'll see. I also expect Jerome Powell to comment on the Evergrande situation. And I do expect him to reassure markets, to say something to the effect of, hey, not expecting some kind of global contagion from what's happening at Evergrande. We know that Evergrande made some payments, or at least one payment here. We've got some other payments coming up, though, so it'll be interesting to see how Evergrande breaks down. But most people are not too worried about the Evergrande situation really taking over, creating some kind of contagion for markets. But hey, you never know. So obviously something we'll keep an eye on. But big day for the Fed, and yeah, hey, let's get in and see what's going on in the market. First things first, let's see how the market is responding today. We were expecting the market to be a little bit more tentative. Let's see here. There we go. A little bit more tentative this morning. However, when we got a heads up about Evergrande making an interest payment, a coupon payment on their bonds, the market chilled out a little bit, which is good. Led the market to move up slightly here. We've also got the nice banner about Robinhood to launch cryptocurrency wallets as Bitcoin becomes a bigger part of the business. We've seen Robinhood talk about this for a while, especially recently, and so it'll be interesting to see when this actually comes out. Oh, take a listen here for a moment. What's Diamond saying?
And that'll all be fine if we have decent growth. I think decent growth is far more important than anything, that we keep on growing. And that is the antidote for all ills.
Yeah, that's not the soundbite I was looking for.
It's a good line, anecdote for all ills. But what was the negative?
The Fed could be pushed into a sharp move next year if inflation gets too high. Not saying that's going to happen,
right?
But it's possible.
If Dr. Gottlieb is right, it won't happen. I believe that a lot of what's going on is that people aren't going to work. We also need to have.
Why aren't people going to work?
Well, women aren't in the labor force because they've had. This is
kids are in
Secretary
school?
Raimondo saying that. No, I'm saying give it a little chance here. Give it. Call me.
Yes.
Mr. Powell, first I want to know why you allowed a lot of renegade trading where guys made a lot of money based on what you were about to say.
So you don't think there'll be any questions about this?
Let me finish. It's a two-part question,
Okay.
Mr. Powell.
Okay, Jim.
And secondly, why have you let rampant inflation continue when you probably even yourself, have you been to the movies? Have you been to the supermarket? How much is milk? How much is Oatly?
Yeah.
And then third, we did Toast came public today, and they're talking about restaurant prices going up. So, Mr. Powell, you're a disaster. There, you want that?
Nice impression there, Jim. And we know he doesn't actually believe that, but hey, that was it was entertaining in terms of potentially what kind of questioning Powell could face if he wants to get renewed. But yeah, look, I wish they talked a little bit more about what Jamie Dimon talked about, but whatever. We got these Robinhood crypto wallets coming. Robinhood expects this to be a phased-in approach, so I wouldn't expect everybody to get super excited about these wallets right away. More interestingly, here is this rebound that we've got in cryptos. Take a look at this. Ethereum is almost back up to 3,000. Hold on. What's this?
On Thursday, the company Hongda said that it was able to resolve the issue through private negotiations, but it didn't specify exactly how that's going to be paid or when. It's also still unclear what that all means for dollar bond interest payments, which are also due on Thursday, or the potential impact for a broader restructuring. Even so, the development was able to lift sentiment, as you can imagine, in the Chinese stock markets, which reopened after a 2-day break. Property stocks rallied. The banking stocks didn't do so well, especially those that have a lot of exposure to Evergrande. In fact, Evergrande still owes about $850 million in coupon payments this year alone. China's central bank injected about $14 billion into the banking system. It also left unchanged a key lending rate for September, though there's been a lot of talk now that because of all these problems that we're seeing in the property sector, that the central bank could move ahead with a rate cut as early as next month. And we are seeing more signs of stress in the housing market. There are now 8 Chinese cities that have told developers not to cut and offered steep discounts on new apartments in order to try to raise cash. So you could see that there's a concern on the part of local authorities that if they do see more housing price declines, then that could hurt the value for a lot of households and current homeowners in their real estate markets. Carl?
Well, it makes a lot of sense that the private sector has started to negotiate these bond payments with Evergrande. We do have another payment coming up, though, right? On the 29th. We've got this one. This is just going to be part 1. And they haven't mentioned where this money is coming from, as we just heard here. But I've also heard that in other places it's like, hey, where'd you all of a sudden get this money from? It is kind of interesting. But yeah, Chinese injecting liquidity into the banking system is just having more cash available in the event of defaults. So that way there is no liquidity crisis. This is different from, or credit crisis is even potentially more important. This is different from Evergrande getting bailed out by the Chinese government, let's say. Hold on a sec. What the heck? Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So anyway, it's different from the Chinese government bailing anything out, because really what it is remember when Jerome Powell, we would always say Jerome Powell's bailing out the stock market by buying up corporate bonds or printing a bunch of money, right? Allowing money to be injected into the markets, basically making it available for banks to lend to businesses in an emergency fashion. That's more of what you get when you get central banks injecting liquidity, emergency lending money. And obviously that's something private sectors love when there is some kind of market crisis. So it's good to see the Chinese government stable or try to at least prevent kind of massive issues in the banking sector. Very important. You would expect that rather than a direct bailout. I've been pretty clear. I do not expect the Chinese government to directly bail them out, unless of course it's being done behind the scenes. Not, where'd you all of a sudden get your coupon payment from? That red envelope, right? But who knows? So, but anyway, it's obviously good news, and that's this good news that's happening here is leading the market to turn slightly green, which is good. And I actually believe the market to be most tentative before 11 o'clock, because 11 o'clock California time is when Jerome Powell will release his summary of economic projections, his FOMC statement. So we'll not only get a statement about what has happened, but 30 minutes thereafter, well, actually at the same time, we'll get the summary of economic projections, which again is which will include the dot plot projections on GDP and inflation. Then we'll get their statement as to whether or not they're tapering. And then 30 minutes later, we'll have Q&A when, of course, Jerome's going to be asked about Evergrande. So it's going to be pretty big conversation here with Jerome Powell. Yeah. Anyway, so all right. So let's see what we got. Let's see. Okay. Investors believe it's time to get very conservative. Yeah, and see, this is the issue. Like I've raised a lot of cash by selling a lot of options, which has been great. But this market buys every dip. It's incredible. Still, and this is that green that we're seeing right now. In fact, I want to come over here and I want to short Emeren. Emeren is running for like the stupidest reason ever. Keep this in mind, okay? Emeren ran on the concept that it now has a pact with Google. All they did was renew an agreement they had. And somebody wrote a clickbait article about that, going, oh my gosh, Emeren's partnering with Google. And people are like, Emeren with Google, this is amazing. It's like they already had an agreement with Google. And it was just renewing it. It's so ridiculous. Like if I were at Emeren right now, I'd be like, okay, today's the day to sell some shares. Yeah. SoFi, look at SoFi finally making moves here. It's the SPACs. The SPACs are finally getting sort of their moment of glory here, the various moments of glory, where you're getting the individual stack of SPACs finally getting pushed up again. See, today you're getting SoFi getting pushed up 5.21%. That's great. You're getting Lucid here. Lucid still moving another 3%. Incredible. Robinhood's finally moving up here. Hut 8 Mining coming up with the crypto recovery a little bit. Great. Yesterday, we did an analysis on Dutch Bros. Loved it. It is slightly, maybe 20%, a little over where maybe Starbucks' valuation is in terms of a tether, but then you get a much smaller company, right? But it hasn't gone too crazy stretchy, which I thought was good. Matterport at 2% up again, now $22. Incredible. And worth noting that Matterport previously did have this run all the way up to $28, which was quite incredible, with a 22 before, but didn't really last that long. It was really a couple days that it lasted in the 20s. Matterport now has really been sitting in the 20s for about 4 or 5 days now. Very, very impressive. We've got, let's see here, Enphase up 1.67%. JD.com, Chinese stocks coming up a little bit. Arcimoto's coming back a little bit. Neo, Lemonade. Let's see here. Honest Company, Walt Disney. There's Matterport. Looks like Matterport just slipped a little bit. Affirm, 109. All right. Sold some puts on Affirm the other day. Actually, I think it was Affirm. Yeah, pretty sure. But anyway, yeah, it was great. I think that was it Monday? Was it the first thing Tuesday? I can't remember. But whatever. Workhorse down 6.35% as one of their vehicles gets canned, which is bad. Suspending pre-orders and the eventual product line for a specific truck. So some actual fundamental bad news on Workhorse, not just momentum or lack thereof. You've got Build-A-Bear 16. It's incredible how this one just moved around between 16 and 19 over and over again. Twitter down slightly. I mean, nothing really down here. Kind of boring. Peloton at $100, slightly down. You got Tattooed Chef, tiny little bit here. Hippo's at 0. You have, and then Mostly Green. So Mostly Green coming up here. You do have a nice recovery here in crypto so far. Back to 212 on Cardano. If for those of you wondering, I do send alerts as well for buy and sell when I make trades on crypto. I've made quite a few trades over the last few days, lowering my cost basis on crypto, and so far it's been working out really well because we've had some pretty panic dips yesterday and day before, thanks to some liquidations. Anyway, what else? AMC $38. You know, if we're going back to that risk on move, it might be worth even selling some puts again over there on AMC. In fact, I wonder what they're worth right now. Sure. AMC. Let's go to October 20. It's only 23 days right now. If I go to, I don't know, let's go to basically at the money here, 39 sell put. I mean, see, look at that. That's not bad. That's 40. I mean, that's over 10% for like 23 days or less. I mean, how many days is this right now? 23 days. Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible. Sell put over here. Sell put. Wonder how Tattooed's pricing. On 23 days, you're pricing. You're getting $1.35. That's less than 10%. It's not even as much as AMC. You're pricing 7% for 23 days right now. That's incredible for Tattooed. You get this though on the SPAC stocks. You get some pretty high volatility, which is nice. That's a wonderful place for selling contracts. Love it. Yeah, Faraday future so far. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and see what updates we got. Jay Powell is about to bounce the cat. Seriously. But then again, hey, he's been rough and blunt before. So, you could go either way with Jerome Powell. I mean, it's been great that we've had good news here on Evergrande. Very, very good. That's been what's keeping the market depressed. But if, at 11:30 during discussions, Jerome Powell says, hey, if certain things continue, then maybe we have to taper sooner and harder than we thought. Well, that could also hurt the market. So we'll see how that goes. How's our 10 years, by the way? Let's look at 10-year Treasury. 10-year at 1.32. It's been so stable. Nobody even cares about that anymore right now is what it feels like. So, all right, let's see here. Fed's debate on tapering just got a lot trickier. Take a peek at that. That's a great photo, by the way, of the Federal Reserve. Okay, let's get rid of this stupid banner. There we go. All right. So what do we got here? What would it take to knock the U.S. recovery off the course and send the Fed policymakers back to the drawing board? Not much. And there are plenty of candidates to deliver the blow. From one direction, the U.S. debt ceiling deadlock. Okay, debt ceiling deadlock, I expect to get passed. We'll get through this. I think either Republicans are going to roll over. Not my job. That was the best. Kenneth, when ADA was at 192, I set an alert. By the time my order executed, it went through at 196 because it was at 192 for like literally a hot minute. But 196 is pretty good too on ADA. So join if you haven't yet. But anyway, from China property slump or simply an extension of COVID caution could hit growth and jobs, taking the Fed's proposed taper of bonds off autopilot and pushing its first interest rate back to 2024 or later. Yeah, these are a lot of the things that could be going on, right? So the debt ceiling deadlock, bad news. China, Evergrande here, somewhat good news, but still overall like worse news than if it weren't going on. COVID, I'm not sure that anybody's really worried about COVID right now other than recovery stocks. Let's see here. Let's go to all. Yeah, look, you still got that inflection point on COVID, which is really nice. And really, I don't think the market so much has been pricing in COVID, with the exception of in the recovery sector. I think the recovery sector has gotten hit nicely, and I hope we get through a nice winter without a disaster here. A little bit of slowdown on that growth on Carnival, but you still got that growth after hitting some lows. Getting close to $20 there. The airline's trading relatively sideways, and let's do one of the. Oh, hold on a sec. This is computer's doing a little bit of an overheat here. Hold on a sec. Let's turn the fans up a little bit. All right, there we go. The computer is freaking. There we go. And how about there? Okay, so a lot of things that could happen here. the Fed. Let's see what else they're saying here. Okay. COVID affecting the recovery stocks, slower jobs, right? Fed's proposed taper of bonds, taking them off autopilot. But, this would be interesting. Imagine if they pushed the first rate hike to 2024 later. I feel like the market would rally if that happened. I don't expect us to hear anything about that, but that's great. Oh, Jefferies just initiated coverage on SoFi with a price target of 25. I wonder if that's why it's pushing today. It's great. Yeah, I like SoFi. That's great. I put a lot of money into sold puts on that one. If it runs, I'll just dump my sold puts and then I could potentially get shares. We get some great credits. But anyway, from the other side, supply chain snarls could keep inflation stubbornly high, forcing the acceleration of the taper and a liftoff in early 2022. A rate liftoff in early 2022? Yeah, we'll see. If a shock arrives from both directions at once, the upside could be a combination of weak growth and rapidly rising prices, but not as severe as the 70s, still leaving Jerome Powell with no easy answer. Is the economy headed for a slowdown? Aren't hard to find. We talked about the payrolls. Yep. Let's see. The Delta variant. The consumer sentiment. Okay, well, consumer sentiment, I personally don't really listen to that much. I think it's an interesting headline, but quite frankly, I mean, consumer sentiment just changes with the wind. It's crazy. What's this here? Good morning, Kevin. Can you please share your opinion about the stock HZON? It's a SPAC that lost an NHL contract and now it's bleeding. Is there any regulation set by the SEC to control and guarantee the bottom line? No. So like SPACs can literally bleed out. There's no bottom line that has to be enforced. They're projections of honesty or best available research. And quite frankly, if that means it's going to bleed out or whatever, there's nothing to stop that from happening. Now, has it merged yet? Given that it's Horizon acquisition, I think the answer here is no. So it's probably bouncing around that $10 par value. It hasn't really fallen that much. I mean, coming off $12, we've seen SPACs do some crazier moves. But that could always foreshadow the potential of a SPAC going under $10 after. Like one of mine that I picked up more recently here. Picked this up around the 480s or whatever. Been trading a little bit here on some of the dips lately. But Hippo is just a perfect example of where you can get a SPAC, do exactly what you see here, right? Look, it ran up to 15, held at $10, merger happened, tiny little bump, and then of course this collapse over here. And this is where in these support regions where I've been interested in this one. All right, let's listen to the bell.
One of those song and dance routines the cows could do. David, you are toast.
Should be pretty green.
CNBC real-time exchange at the big board. It is Restaurant Payments Company Toast. Celebrating its IPO today. We'll talk to the CEO of Chris Paffrath in the next
Toast IPOs today, so they get their clapping moment, which that's super exciting. All right, let's see how things develop here. We've got look how green that is. That is crazy. All right, Alexa. No, we got to have a conversation. No more. But we'll talk later. All right. So, wow. Look at even Lucid here at 5.15% on Lucid. A lot of excitement coming that these cars are coming, folks. A lot of excitement around that, and so that's really pushed the volume here on this stock quite a bit. Yeah, I'm going to get ready to dump my sold puts on this one. So we've got SoFi, 4.5 here. MRIN, well, let me short it, yeah? Let's see. Sure. Let's see if I could do a market one share short. Earlier, or yesterday, it wasn't letting me. One share short. All right, let's try. Ooh, if this order is executed, will result in a short position of one share. Please note this is a hard to borrow stock. The current borrow fee is 44.85%. Wow. Let's see what this looks like. Can I do it? Server's not responding. Look at that. They just will not let you short this stock. Oh, no. Look, I'm short one share now. That's funny. I don't know how much do we want to short of this thing? Times you know what? Just for giggles, I'm gonna do 10,000 shares short in total. Stock not supported. Come on, man. Get out of town. There are insufficient shares to short this thing. Why? How about 5,000? Do I hear 5,000? Nope. Well, so I was able to short one with one share. Come on, man. How about 2,000? Do I hear 2,000 shares? Nope. I can't short the darn thing. I know it's a ripoff, and I want to short it. That's it. How about options? Can I do do I hear an option? It's so dangerous to do a put contract on one of these. I wonder what they're worth right now. Let's see. What would it cost me? What's it going to cost? $2 for 23 days? That's 20%. That is expensive. No, sorry, this is sell. There we go. Buy. $2.65. That's even worse. Oh my gosh. Oh, they've priced this as a ripoff. It's because the market knows this is a joke. You can't short it because everybody else has already shorted it. That's whatever. All right. Okay, cool. So take a peek over here really quick. Okay, so I was gonna say consumer sentiment to me just kind of like blows with the wind, and it doesn't really matter so much in my opinion. I think what matters much more is it's actually happening. The consumer sentiment just amplifies whatever's going on. Like when inflation's low, none of the consumers care about inflation, and there's positive consumer sentiment around inflation. When inflation's high, the consumer's like, oh my gosh, inflation's high. It's never going to end. It's like, yeah, it actually will. Oh, okay. It's nuts. Forgot to drink my coffee. Now it's gotten a little warm. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, good job here. Somebody wrote in our Discord, which if you want to join Discord, you could always go to metkevin.com/chat and join the Discord public section as well, which is super fun. You've got, but somebody wrote, sold all my YOLO Emran calls with the 10x gain. Nice. This is like, in my opinion, the perfect time to dump it because it's just running on such stupid news. But okay, yeah, let's talk a little bit more about what's going on here in the markets. Do remember that if you want to get a free stock worth up to $70, you can do so with Public. They don't buy or sell your information. They do not use payment for order flow. Go to metkevin.com/public. You get a free stock worth all the way up to $70. It is also worth noting that we have 2 days to go until the prices go up on the programs of Building Your Wealth linked down below. Price goes up. We got lots of inflation to price in, and probably the net price will go up somewhere around $50, maybe even $60 in some cases. So I'll take a look at that. But anyway, and that's net after any kind of discount. So if you're interested, check that out before the price goes up. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. Add all these pieces together in a recovery that looked unstoppable just a few days ago appears to be losing steam. And then there's also, we've seen a lot of these GDP growth expectations declining. Inflation expectations a little bit higher for a little bit longer. I personally do think the debt debate is going to be something that does give the market some more heart palpitations. So we'll see. I'm surprised the Evergrande issue isn't more of an issue here in America right now. We had a rough Monday, but that was it. And combined with all of the other crap that's going on, with uncertainty around the Fed, around COVID, around Evergrande, around tapering rates, you'd think the market would be a little bit more tenuous, but it's not because people got so much money. Folks, look, you want to know and you want to keep track of how much money is sitting around with institutions. All you got to do is go to Google, type in Fed reverse repo. All you got to do is that. Click on over here. And the higher this line goes above my head over here, the more cash the system has to lend for businesses, for investors. I mean, you've literally got banks right now begging their higher net worth clientele to take loans. Like, here, can we give you a bigger equity line? Can we give you a bigger margin loan? Can we give you a bigger portfolio loan? Whatever. It's because there's so much cash. People are just sitting with money on the sidelines. And this is why every time there's a dip, it's just bought. It's crazy. I agree. Some of the valuations are a little nutty, but one of the reasons they hold up is because people just have more money than what we're used to, and that's in the future just going to lead to compressed returns. Potentially more sideways trading or slower up trading. I actually do believe that Lucid could have better mileage than Tesla. Yeah, I mean, you just put in a larger battery pack and make that your priority. They say they can operate the vehicle more efficiently with a higher voltage system inside, maybe helping boost some of the electronic efficiencies within the engine and other parts of the cars. I mean, we'll see. I'm certainly no engineer either. But anyway, opinions on Corsair long-term 3 to 5 year investment. I think it's one of the reasons that its price to earnings ratio is so low is I think the market is really pricing in lower growth for it. And so if you're in Corsair and you're wanting to see the thing print, you really need the market expectations to increase for the particular stock. People look at price to earnings ratio and they think that a bigger number means overvalued and a smaller number means undervalued. It's not true. The price to earnings ratio is simply a measure of the market's expectation for growth at a company. So it sets the barometer for how much growth the market is expecting. So a higher PE company means, either the company has literally no profits, but when they are profitable, a higher PE company means the market is pricing in higher growth. So very, very important to keep that in mind. So hey, does Lucid turn red? Oh, what happened? I should have sold my puts. Well, bought back my puts. Darn it. Elsa, what? Did some news come out? Oh, yeah. See? Sold put. It's actually right there. Let me see what's out right now. Darn it. The thing was running, so I'm like, oh, I'll just do that in a little bit. Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't think it's. I might just hold it. Let me see, because it's still gonna be up. Let me see where it is right now. Lucid. It's up 38%. I could just buy to close it really quick. Just take my 10D on it anyway. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do exactly that. I mean, I'm up 40% on it on this run. I'm gonna take that cash back out, which is great. And as usual, let me just do my quick LCID. Okay, closed, sold, put on LCID up 38%. Freeze up the cash for shopping. Cool. That was up, by the way. Let's see. I got $465. Oh, $17,000. There we go. And I don't even think I put that much collateral up into it, did I? No, let me see here. LCID, 465 times 58 contracts. And what I did, just so you understand the trade here really quick, is I sold puts on Lucid. Actually, I've had these for, a couple months now? Jeez, there's so many trades in here. I don't even know. Where the heck is it? We'll find it. I do wonder why it's falling, what the news event is. But I've been wanting to take tendies on that for a while, so that's perfect. Where the heck is it? At some point, I did LCID. Sold puts. Oh well, it doesn't really matter when I bought them. Oh, it should say it. No, it doesn't. Whatever. There we go. gonna do one quick last little scroll. So basically, at some point, the thing was juicy to where I sold a put on it, which is directionally a bullish move, right? The thing just ran a bunch, and I took tendies, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory. That's not that hard to understand. All right, so took care of that. All right, what else we got? Hippo. I like the hungry hippo. So, okay, what else is going on here? So, wow, FedEx is down 8.34%. You've got, and the strategy here, by the way, is it keeps falling. Maybe there's a buy the dip reason here. I'm going to pull up really quick the, what's it called? Bloomberg Terminal, and we can get the news to see why Lucid's falling all of a sudden. So we'll get the heads up on that. Okay. So let's see here. I don't mind Path. Kathy likes Path as well. A lot. Okay. Let's get logged into this. There we go. Let's see what the craziness is. Which I don't know if that bodes well for Matterport, by the way. That's been running like crazy as well. Okay. There we go. Okay. I have not gotten a word, by the way, on this two-factor identification code in forever. Forever. Yeah, it's possible. It's just a pullback after a huge run. I agree with you. All right. So terminal's coming up. Let's see here. Let's listen to this just for a quick moment here. What do we got?
Today, wow, it's just unacceptable to see this kind of behavior in such a large and important company like that. If you look at what's going on in the pandemic and just the amount of information that's just plain wrong that's on there, it's just, this has to stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is when Mark Zuckerberg has to actually come on CNBC and talk. He does. He has to say, listen,
they're talking about slamming Facebook on that Wall Street Journal. Really, the Wall Street Journal reports, I mean, they have ripped a new one into Facebook. That's been pretty rough. Oh, that's right. It was CCIV before. Oh, I found it. Okay. Duh. Okay, 58 sold put. I sold the puts I sold January puts on Lucid for $7.53. So it was $7.53 January puts, 58 of them times 100. So that means I took a $43,000 credit. And recently the thing's been running. I took about a 38% gain on it and bought these back for $465, which is about $26,000. So 27, we'll call it. So 27 to that. Yeah, that's about 16K. That's cool. So it gives you a little bit of an idea on that trade. And I did that trade the first week of July. So that means that was, that means I put up 58 times 100 times 25. That means I put up about 145K of collateral, made about 12% on that trade in about 2.5 months. That's not bad. That's just for a little bit of yield farming with extra cash I had sitting around anyway. It's not like I needed the cash. That's not bad. And I've been saying that a lot about really just some option contracts lately. I've really been enjoying that. Lucid is turning around a slight bit right now, so I'm trying to still figure out what this dip was. But anyway, if you were looking to buy the dip, you've got the turnaround happening right here, right now. I wanted to take tendies on that contract anyway. But let's go ahead and jump on over here. Let's see, LCID. Individual company news. Let's see what the company news here is. So on LCID, there's no particular news in terms of why it went down. Yeah, no particular news in terms of why it went down. So probably just trading moves. So then we've got, I'd consider buying the shares on Lucid. I feel like with this production news coming, I'd consider it. Might be just time to do that now. I don't know how much do we want to do. Yeah, I'd put in like, I'll buy 1,000 shares. That's fine, and we'll see where it goes. Why is that not sufficient? What? Oh my gosh, go away. All right, how about $25,000? Is that possible? What is wrong with Weeble? Weeble's sucking. There you go. All right, 960 shares. There you go. All right. So I'll mention that. But 1K shares now instead. Of Lucid. Okay, cool. Cool. Awesome. Jackson wants to know if I shorted Emrin. Yes, I have one short share of Emrin. It's been beautiful, but I shorted it at 80. What was it, like 80% or something like that? It's been great. You could see this one short share. I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see, but the short share line, it goes down with where the price is. But anyway, it's been working great. My short share is printing tendies. So yeah, Enphase is doing a little bit of a move here. I like the look of that. SoFi 7, almost 8% right now. So I got so many sold puts on that one too. If this thing runs for some reason to like $20 or something like that, it's gonna be such tendy printing. Matterport up again, 3.8. It's the SPACs are coming back, y'all. The SPACs are back, with the exception of what's it called? Workhorse. Yeah, Workhorse just not having a good day. Neither is Peloton. Peloton down to $95, folks. Down to, which is fine. You might not know this, but well, anybody in the Stocks and Psychology of Money group does. But I do not own any Peloton. I own nothing. I sold like 99% of what I had before their earnings, which ended up being a disaster. Their earnings was a disaster. Anyway, Open Door selling down, Adobe, Facebook, Peloton. We've got DraftKings down again a little bit here. Are we moving directionally lower on the indices here, or what we got going on? CNBC. No, the indices look fine. Global shortage of uranium just announced. Well, yeah, because you got one company buying the crap out of it. Yeah, I sold body calls a long time ago. That was like a day trade. Lucid, let's see here. Okay, Lucid's still doing a little bit of that rotation here. Hippo just like sitting at $5. That's where it wants to sit. I've sold puts on Hippo and some shares. We got Microsoft. Okay, this is all nominal over here. Bitcoin 42.2. Dick's Sporting. All right, that's not exciting. Tesla's actually marginally up. Now, it's not up the 4% that it lost on Monday. It's still below those levels, but it's been green Tuesday and today slightly. We got about 2% back. And then up about 0.25% now. Lemonade coming back a little bit, so that's nice to see. Back to $72 here. Really, SoFi. SoFi is the one that's moving right now, and I wish I could have shorted this thing more, because it's so. Anyway, so then we got SoFi, Dutch Bros. I wonder why. I think SoFi is just moving on the analyst initiating coverage at Jefferies. That's a big one. Yeah, EXPI moving again. That's exciting. Dave & Buster's up 4.8%. No, good for them. MGM Resorts. See, look, you've got that excitement coming in again in recovery. Just at the beginning of the opening here, we were talking about how it seems, COVID's not only inflecting down, but you're seeing a recovery in the recoveries. The only thing I've done with the recoveries, though, is I've played short-term options on them. It's not been something I've been a hodler of because you still have that fear of what if you get a big old sort of delta swing or a rough winter season with COVID, right? So that's a big deal. Man, my short is just it's killing it. Should be like up 20% right now or whatever on Emrin. Yeah, I do still hold shift for whoever's asking in Discord. Like whatever it is. I like 150K or something like that. Okay. So let's see. Is Win dipping again? I want to see Win, honestly, like under 70 would be amazing. How do you that's Wayfair, okay. Yeah, how is Win dipping? It's up 1.76. I think if you're talking about this, that's boring. Boring. All right, what else do we have here? End phase 157. What I really want to do is go into AMC over here. I wanted to do this at the start, but I didn't because I kind of forgot about it. But because you can't do it in pre-market. But anyway, I'm gonna go over here to the $40. Actually, I think we were at 39, 47. That's still pretty good too, though. 40 to sell put. Let's do. I don't know if you did like 40 times 39 times 100. That's 156K. That's a lot. What if you just did like 20 of them? 78K. That's 23 days worth. These are so juicy. Oh man, I want to do those so badly. So the credit's just not that much between now and October. Excuse me. But anyway, yeah, if you sold puts on AMC right now, $4.70 into 39, that's 12%. When do my other puts expire? Not sold puts, I'm not shorting AMC. Sold puts. Let's see here. AMC, sold puts. Oh, that was January. Oh, right. Okay. Those are longer term for Jan. Oh, Gesundheit. Thank you. Man, those they just look so good. 12%. What if you took that out longer? Took it out to like January? Oh my gosh, $11 right now is what you'd get if you took it out to January. Divided by 39, 28%. You get $22,000. Wow. They're so juicy. 22 grand onto what, 78 or whatever. Like we said, that's 11.05 divided by 39. That's 20. There's no way I can't do this. This is just, it's too nice. So I'm going to do it. All right. $39 sold put on AMC for January 2021. 20 of them uses about 70 collateral and gives a 28K credit. Okay, obviously the risk is AMC crashes. Anyway, these are the kinds of alerts that I do throughout the day. When today I did a bunch of them during the this public live stream, but throughout the day when I close these positions or I do other things with the positions or whatever, those are the kinds of alerts that I send, just so that like when I see little opportunities or whatever, like you saw, like I want to short Emrin or whatever, right? But but I mean it's not available for shorting. But anyway, with the exception of that one share. But anyway, those are the sorts of alerts to expect in the psychology of money. group. So when I'm looking around and staring at the charts all day long and I see something interesting, that's what you might expect to get. So anyway, you can check out those programs linked down below. It's Stocks and Psychology of Money. A lot of people, by the way, bundling up that in the real estate investing course. Seems like there's been a new surge of people looking into real estate investing again. Worth noting, just saying. Okay, so Smile Direct's down 2.4% here. Adobe's still down 3.6%. Peloton's falling more. I'm going to look really quick to see why, if there's a particular catalyst pushing on Peloton. Peloton. Good job, Moonstocks. Yeah, I mean, it was that the run on Emran is just insane. So good for you. Let's see here. Peloton. No, there's no news. No news on Peloton. Let's see here. Nothing on Peloton. Okay. So what else here? Okay, SoFi still up almost 8%. Dave & Buster's getting that full 5. All right, let's go ahead and now jump on over to some other headlines. See what else is going on here. The indices are all doing really well. Good. Facebook says it underreported ad performance due to Apple iPhone's privacy update. Okay. Let's go to Bloom. Insider selling on Peloton? Ah, good to know. Is that true? Let's see. Peloton investor relations. And was that as part of a scheduled selling, or that would be interesting. SEC filings. Let's see what we got here. There's actually, there should be a way to do this. Yeah, you're right. Here's the 21st. I could just pull this up here. So who's this? This is one of the directors, it says. Peloton. This is, who's this person? Served as one of our board of directors. Okay, got it. So board of director, and looks like they dumped on the 17th about 11,500 shares. 11,500 shares at 104. It's worth about $1.2 million. That's interesting. Okay. Let's see here. Was this as part of a plan? Shares are held by their trust. Options vested. Because sometimes they do this themselves, or it was automatic as part of a stock selling plan, which is scheduled, predetermined. I don't believe it was, though, especially since here it says by spouse. That's interesting. Yeah. And then these obviously not. Yeah, these deemed execution date. I believe it would say well, no. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to figure out. Maybe does anybody else know in the chat how to tell if this was a timed execution, a timed sale, or if they did this manually? Maybe you got a divorce. I don't know. Let's see here. Divorce. I'm not sure anything about that. Yeah, but anyway, if somebody knows how to tell on these SEC Form 4s, that would be very interesting. But anyway, okay, what else we got? So we have COVID shot from China. Clover found 79% effective against Delta. Evergrande filing. Evergrande, let's see here. Evergrande borrowed from everyone. This is a, what's it called? An opinion piece is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm very far from an expert on the situation at Evergrande, but I will say two things. It owes 1.6 million apartments to people who have put cash down and deposits, may be in trouble of delivering. It owes billions of dollars in cash for people who have bought wealth management products, retail debt instruments, and it will have trouble paying them. In other words, making the argument that they borrowed from everyone. I got you. Okay. What? This is interesting. Hold on. It seems to me that what's interesting about Evergrande is not so much the magnitude of its debt problem, but their variety. Evergrande owns so much money to Chinese banks. It owes money to foreign hedge funds, and foreign investors own its stock. It owes money to suppliers and to Chinese retail investors in those wealth management products, and it owes apartments to buyers. The retail investors who bought Evergrande wealth management products were often also Evergrande homeowners because the products were sold at Evergrande buildings. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. My parents put the bulk of their savings, and not a lot by Evergrande standard, into its wealth management product. She said an Evergrande financial advisor stationed in an apartment tower built by the company had persuaded her mother to invest. They wouldn't have trusted Evergrande's wealth product had they not bought the developer's apartment. That is smart. Oh my gosh, it's brilliant. That is build apartments and then sell them investment products. That's funny. Open Insider. This is cool. This is much easier than me doing it. See, but it's not updated. What good does that do? It ain't here. It ain't even updated yet. The Form 4 is not here yet. Form 4 scheduled selling versus manual. Let's see. Insider transaction forms. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Maybe there's a difference between the forms. Form 3 is when a person becomes an insider. Form 4 is when you execute a transaction within 2 business days. I don't know if it's part of a plan, though. Form 5. Let's see. For example, some transactions less than $10,000. Okay, well, so it is. They don't tell us. Form 4 explained. Okay, what do we got? I want to know if they got scheduled. Nope. No, I don't know that that's necessarily that has to be disclosed. I don't know that that's a requirement. But anyway, thanks for that, Shelly. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Their employee was forced to buy a lot of their wealth product. It's like a pyramid scheme. I believe that. It's scary. So, in fact, they were apparently advised in elevators. I bought from property managers after seeing the ad in the elevator. I trusted Evergrande as being a Fortune 500 company. I've never thought to myself, like, oh, I like this company because it's a Fortune 500 company. I wonder if that's, like, more salient in China. I don't know. I'm curious. When trouble started for cash earlier this year, turned to its own employees with a strong arm pitch. Those who want to keep their bonuses would have to give Evergrande a short-term loan. Oh, wow. Some worker, I mean, then you may as well. It's like you want to keep your bonus. Well, may as well invest it in the company, right? Wow, that's interesting. Some workers tap their friends and family to lend the company money. Oh my gosh. Yeah, fixed income products with 11% yields. OMG. I mean, that the writing was on the wall for this thing. I mean, this is a long piece. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it looks like a very interesting story. I mean, I might read more of it later, but we're not gonna bore you with the whole piece there right now. It does seem shady. I agree with you. Very much agree. All right, remdesivir alerts hospitalization and study of high-risk patients. Averts hospitalization in high. Oh, that's good. That's very good. Isn't that Gilead? Doesn't Gilead do remdesivir? I'm pretty sure that's Gilead. I wonder how it's doing then. Let's see then. All right, Gilead. Gilead, no, it's down 0.36%, of course. Yeah, so I mean, Mike, I don't know off the top of my head how many unique course members there are, but in our private live streams, in case you're wondering, we get through all the questions most of the time. But course member live streams are like 800 people plus or minus at a time. It's pretty great. People are pretty respectful, which is nice. Just spend a lot of time just doing Q&A, so it's fun. Kev going full creeper. Nope. If I wanted to be full creeper, I'd be wearing green and I wouldn't have arms. Like Minecraft. According to the footnote. Oh, did I miss the footnote? Good for you finding that. Let's go. It says that in the footnote. Planned. Which there were affected pursuant to Rule 10b5-1. 10b5-1 plan. How did I not see? Oh, there it is. You're right. Thank you. Okay, that's good. That's good. This is so these right here, the Rule 10b5-1 trading plans. That's what these things are called. Look at this. 10b5-1, established by the SEC, allows insiders of publicly traded corporations to set up a trading plan for selling stocks they own. Permits major holders to sell a predetermined number of shares at a predetermined time. Many corporate executives use 10b5-1s to avoid accusations of insider trading. Nice. That's awesome. All right, let's see here. Is Facebook crashing? Let me see. Somebody says that. Let me see particularly what Bloomberg Terminal says. Okay. So Facebook overpaid FTC fine as a quid pro quo to protect Zuckerberg from liability. Facebook drops after saying Apple's ad changes hurt business. Okay, well that's why it's falling. Could have a bigger Q3 impact. Ooh, yeah. That of the FANGs, that is one that I do not own. Although it has done very well in the past few months here. Look at this. I mean, I've always preferred Google, but it's done very well, so you can't poop on Facebook here. But yeah, those ad changes, that's something that's driven a lot of people, to some disappointment on this one. Okay, so then we have HUD 8. Look at HUD 8. Yeah, nice. Coming back 8%. So obviously on the BTC moves here, BTC USD. Yeah, nice sort of Bitcoin revival here. Let's go to the hour. Coming off of that 39.6 low. Let's go to 36 min. Still obviously low, but not as low as where we have been dancing around 40,000 for too long, for a few hours wise. It's not even like many days. But okay, good. SoFi 7%. Sweet. EXPI, Dave & Buster's, awesome. Penn Gaming, DD, Dutch Bros, 3.6. Cardano's back to 212. Cheesecake. Anything? Is Solar Edge up a little bit here? Affirm's finally back to 110. I got some covered calls on that one. Let's see how Enphase is. Enphase up 0.76 right now. 0.76. Corsair 27.1. Okay. Facebook, Adobe 3.44. And Lucid still on the down direction here. 2.2 right now. That's right about where we did our contract. Or closed out the sold put. Etsy's down a little bit. DocuSign has kind of started doing. I just bought some DocuSign yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it Monday? I don't remember what it was. But anyway, I just bought a little bit on Webull because I own a bunch on Chase that I got way under $200. But it's dipped recently off some of its highs. And so I added a little bit of a position here. I'd be down to add more to DocuSign. I would love this thing to drop back to like the 200 level, and we really get a deal on DocuSign again. That to me would be exciting. All right, what's this? Diamond warns Fed could be forced into a sharp move. Oh yeah. They're talking about this discussion. Let's take a listen in for a second.
Of the economic cycle, so repositioning these where the cyclical trade is pretty much towards the end of their run, and then reposition themselves from what is coming ahead, which is potentially higher rates, potentially higher inflation. It's something that we tell, our clients to start repositioning themselves.
Right. So, I mean, in terms of capital allocation, where do you move? I mean, if you believe that higher rates are going to be a problem, is there finally an alternative, either in fixed income, or is it going to be cash or Bitcoin or something else?
Well, it's always good to have diversification. And I think this is a good opportunity to look at where valuations are. And yes, it will probably take a little more, Carl, for people to start thinking about fixed income. It will take a little longer to get those yields back up to the places where the valuations look attractive. It's still, the risky assets will still have a significant edge going into the next 12 months, mostly as a result of economic growth. And we still have a very solid, even though it's decelerating, still a pretty solid macro backdrop for risky assets to do well. And even though, Fed officials, in the US and central banks around the world are in that process of unwinding the liquidity that is out there, still risky assets, you still have a component. The question is, what do you do asset allocation within the risky assets, whether it's REITs, whether it's putting yourselves a little more in this.
Oh, it says, what are REITs risky assets? I've never really considered. I mean, I guess I don't know. I've always thought that people should buy real estate themselves, but I realize that even though I've been saying that for years, and a lot of y'all buy real estate, most people. You know what? We got to run a poll. Let's run a poll. In fact, I think I can run a poll now, right here in the Q&A. I can. Oh, it's so cool. Would you rather own real estate yourself? You manage it, deal with finding it, tenants, etc., or own shares of a REIT? Or own shares of a REIT, real estate investment trust, that operates the deals for you. Oh, my question is too long. Oh, are you serious? REIT stock. REIT or self-own. Let's do that. Real estate. Would you rather own real estate yourself? Let me shorten that. You deal with it, or own shares of a real estate trust. Ask your community. Let's see how that works. Okay, so I don't think we've ever done a poll in the actual chat here. Yeah, you can. I made it so you can only pick one. Okay, so I don't know where it went. I hit send, but I don't see it yet. There it is. Okay, I posted it. So let me know if we'll see how that poll goes. See, we used to use Twitter for a lot of the polls here, but a lot of y'all didn't have Twitter. I mean, if you do have Twitter, follow me there at Real Meet Kevin. But I also want to be respectful for the people who do not have Twitter. Oh yeah, Lucid's actually falling a little bit more right now, which is perfect. Should have probably waited on. I put a tiny little nibble in on it. Just kind of moved my less than half my collateral over. Let's see here. Okay. Anyway, so let's see here. What do we got? Okay, give me one. So let's get rid of this commercial first things first. Let's see. Ooh, I want to look at Vizio here too. See, actually, most of you, and that's kind of what I thought, prefer owning it yourself. I agree. You signed up for Twitter just for me. That's awesome. Oh, thank you for that. That's really cool. Yeah, right now, out of 1,700 of you, I mean, there are like 1,300 of you watching. I'm sorry, 13,000 of you watching. 1,700 of you voted, and 1 out of 3 of you say REIT. 2 out of 3 say 67%. See, one thing that I thought that was very interesting is that for the people, because there are a lot of people who own a bunch of stocks but aren't diversified at all into real estate. So I figured, like, for the people who don't want to own real estate themselves, maybe an opportunity is owning real estate in a REIT, because it's kind of just like swipe up on Robinhood. You know, once a REIT becomes public, of course. Oh yeah, Lucid's just dropping right now, which that's great. If you want to build a bigger position in Lucid, that's awesome. You get a little bit of a discount here. So looking at some additional moves here, SoFi 1628, wins back up. Things pulling back a tiny little bit here. No kill, sure. ADA, is the SPY falling? Let's see here. Not really. You had a little brief pause there in the SPY, but the S&P is doing fine right now. Google up fractionally. DocuSign went slightly positive. How's Owlet been? Owlet's been on this sort of downtrend here for a while. Brief little run over here. I think this is when we traded it. Yeah, I think that is. But anyway, it's kind of looking for support down here. And let's see here. Facebook 3.9, FedEx 8.4. Smile Direct still down. Did an interview with them yesterday. If you have not seen it yet, yeah, you might. It might make sense to sell puts. Well, it would have to fall more. You know, there's a lot of enthusiasm about Lucid. Pick it up. Okay. Redfin, Etsy, Owlet, Target, DraftKings. Okay. So what else? Let's go look at some other news. All right. Let's see what else we have. Okay. That poll is consistent at 2/3, 1/3. It's incredible. All right. So what else? Inflation, taxes, and housing. Top Trudeau's economic to-do list. Okay. Instagram's no place for kids. DraftKings puts all its bets on Entain. Boris Johnson mocks French outrage. Okay. Get some real news here. We're going to have news soon with Jerome Powell. All right. Let's try FT. Okay. So continue. So what do we got here on FT? U.S. vows to stand up to alleged gas manipulation in Europe. Okay. The end of China's build model. Evergrande fallout could be worse than Lehman for China. Fed statement to be scrutinized. We know this. This is no news here. No news. No news. Okay. All right. Well, we've got the JPOW move in coming out in about 3.5 hours. So stay tuned. Super excited. We'll see what happens with JPOW. We've got a lot of tentative sort of anxiety in the market in the meantime. Let's do one last look at the sticks here. In the meantime, remember to get your up to $70 for free with metkevin.com/public. But signing up for public. And check out metkevin.com/join to check out those programs on building your wealth. That price increase on Friday. We do have the Toast IPO as well today. So I'm going to be going through their filing. Kind of see how things are going there. We've got otherwise no big moves here. Adobe, Facebook, FedEx. These are the biggest fall stocks. UiPath down a tiny little bit. Amazon is up 0.5%. Hey, Tesla went up a little bit more. Yeah, Tesla's has a nice sort of trend today. Enphase up 0.8. Fastly, Beyond Meat, Pins, Disney, Plug, Body, Affirm a couple percent again. Let's quickly look if there are any other options. Let's see what we got. Quick look here. Ooh, Joe Manchin's going to the White House. Big caps outperforming. Yes, they are. Okay, so Affirm got a sold put for $100. That one's doing well right now. I think we sold that on Monday. Is it Monday? I think so. But anyway, whenever it was. That one's up 21% already. I like that. AMC sold put. We just did 2%. Yay. What else here? Okay. Coinbase has got to do some moves. Coinbase is like the dead animal. You're wondering if it's going to get up. Okay. Ooh. Lemonade. We're going to see Lemonade push again one of these days. SoFi. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, SoFi. Sold puts for 2023. Oh, wow. That's cool. Here's one that on this run today. So I sold this put position in July. And I sold the put. Let's see here. When the volatility on the stock was pretty high. It's kind of interesting. This I think is very interesting about sold puts. Okay, watch this. So I sold this sold put when SoFi stock was higher. In fact, let me see what it was. SoFi, and if I remember correctly, go to the day chart. 7777777. Where is it? 7777777. There it is. Here. Okay, so check this out. All right, you ready for this? Hold on. So let me do this. So take a look at this. SoFi was right here on July 7th, which means it closed for $17.22 this day. But it was on this painful kind of downtrend. And so that day, I didn't care that it was 1770 or 17 whatever it was, because I said, I think there's a chance this thing's going to fall to the support line, which it did. But I sold a put anyway because the volatility was really high, and I thought that would crush down. So I sold a put. You could see this here. I took a $223,000 credit for a January 2023 sold put, which at the time was like a 45% credit or whatever. And of that, it's already printed $51,000 of value. So if I close this trade out right now from July, it would be up $51,000, which is awesome. So even though the price of the stock is lower on a directionally bullish move because the volatility fell on the thing, it printed about that 23%, like right there. Selling puts, by far one of my favorite options, because you just don't have as much, in my opinion, risk. The biggest risk is that you have to buy the shares, which you were kind of agreeing to do anyway, right? So anyway, I got to get over to the course member live stream. We'll talk some more. So thank you so much. I might do some more put selling because that is exciting. All right, folks. Thanks for being here. Check out the programs link down below, and we'll see you later. I will be streaming the Federal Reserve event, by the way.